How would you like to never pay for another oil change or tire rotation, or tires for that matter? We've got you covered at Davenport Auto Park. With Davenport for Life, you can drive a brand new Honda, Buick, or GMC and never spend another dime on maintenance. With payments starting under $200 a month, what are you waiting for? Another service bill? Save that money for something fun. Head to the auto park and see how easy it can be. Come by and see us or visit our website. Davenport Auto Park, Rocky Mount.
Welcome to Around Town. I'm Jean Almond and we're delighted you've joined us today. We are going to learn about Activate, a theater group here in the Rocky Mount area that's in the process right now of getting ready to produce or perform for Willy Wonka. We have got Danelle Colley and we've got Melissa Malcolm here, the artistic director and a board member. And you all go back 25 years being roommates in college, right? Or in getting your master's?
That's right. We met each other in graduate school. We both went to UNC Greensboro where we got our MFAs, and we have been partners in crime or colleagues ever since.
Well, and walking in, seeing all these kids K-12, memorizing lines, having stage presence, they are having the times of their lives, aren't they?
I think they're having a blast out there. I don't know if you heard this at break, but I was pointing out to them because they're a little tired. It's day 8 of a 2-week intensive camp, and I asked them to think back to last week. What were we doing at this time? And they were just learning things. They just found out their roles. And then I asked them to think back 2 weeks, and 2 weeks ago they hadn't even met each other. Some of them knew each other from before, but the whole team hadn't come together. So in less than 2 weeks, this group of 53 young people that are on stage and one backstage, plus 20 young college and adult professional interns, we're putting together a whole production, fully mounted, costumes, sets, all of it.
The reason we're best friends is because of theater. I mean, theater does something that other things don't do. When you're on a team, a sports team, you are working for a common goal. But in theater, it's more than that. You're telling a story. So there's emotions, and you really become a family. And one of the things that I think Activate Drama has done for Rocky Mount is to create a safe family place for young people who maybe, some of them are athletes. We have some dancers out there who are amazing athletes, but they have a place to call home. It's their thing. And on top of having a family and creating beautiful stories to share with people, they also get the opportunity to learn skills that they can use for their lifetime. Communication skills. How do I actually talk to an adult? How do I talk to each other? What if I want it my way and nobody else agrees? How does that collaboration moment happen? Because sometimes, like, you know, in some of the scenes, maybe Oompa Loompas have to come up with their own motion, and they have to come to a collaboration. So we're teaching them skills that our iPads, our video games, we're teaching them how to use their imagination and their body as their tools, not depending on technology to be their tools.
Right. There's a lot of technology in theater, but my favorite parts have to do with the people and what they're putting into it and what they're getting out of it. And I think one of the things is confidence in their own ability to do anything. It may be staged later, but not all of these kids are going to end up pursuing theater. And it's really not the point of Activate Drama to try to say that every child should go to Broadway. We have a few who they might make it, but most of them will be able to take the confidence and the graceful skills that they have learned as far as communicating and being on a team, and especially problem-solving skills, and they'll be able to apply those to whatever profession they've been gifted in. And they'll take that out and they'll be able to share that, all from doing the arts.
Give us the history, Danelle, of Activate Drama.
It was an idea we had, I don't know, a long time ago. We had this idea, and we both worked in so many theaters professionally around the country, and we love children and we love theater. And it's always been my dream to be able to bring theater to a place that needed it, especially for young people. And when my husband and I moved to Rocky Mount, like 9 years ago now, we realized that there were theater things happening in town, but not any one of them was primarily focused on young people. And definitely at that time, no one was doing theater for young people in the summertime. And so that has since changed, which I'm super happy about, but we decided to start trying to partner with someone, and in this case it was North Carolina Wesleyan College. They have this beautiful theater, and in the summer most of their students aren't on campus. So they do other summer camps. They were willing to come alongside us, co-produce with us. They're providing the facilities, and then we're providing the expertise and the staffing and the training and getting the kids all up and ready to go. So that was in 2011, and our first show was Annie Jr., and we had 24 actors in that show. And we have since expanded to this year doing 3 shows in one summer. We will literally produce 3 musicals in 6 weeks.
And that's what I was going to say. In 2 weeks, you're where you are now, and this weekend, and we will be airing this after Willy Wonka
Right.
shows. But there are 2 more, and tell
Right.
us what they are and when they will be performed.
I'm gonna let you talk about the next one, and I'll take the third one.
The second show of the season is Into the Woods, which is 2 years ago, Activate did 3 years
maybe.
3 years ago, Activate did Into the Woods Junior, which is the cut down youth version. But we are doing the full length Into the Woods. Many people may know Into the Woods, the movie that came out this last year. And I think 8 years ago it was done at the Imperial Center here. But the show actually is 27 years old. It is a revolution in the musical theater. Everybody's talking about Hamilton now, the new Tony Award
Oh, yeah.
winner. Well, in our day and age, Into the Woods and Phantom of the Opera and Les Mis all came out in the same season, and that season changed musical theater. It used to be that theater was you act, you act, you act, you do a song and dance. You act, you act, you act. Well, Stephen Sondheim said, no, I want it to be seamless. I want the story to be told not just in the words, in the lyrics and in the music. And so you actually can't do Into the Woods. There's probably not more than 3 pages of dialogue before we go back into music. And it's not an operetta, so don't think it's very accessible. It's about fairy tale characters who are all of us have that idea of once upon a time. And we all have the dream that starts with, I wish. And that's what the show's about.
Y'all feed off each other, don't you?
And the show's about that. And there's a narrator who's telling a story, and Cinderella is there, and the baker and his wife, who are the everyman kind of characters that we all identify with. And there's Red Riding Hood, and Rapunzel's in the story, and the prince. And we see all these fairy tale characters, and we see them go through their struggles. And at the end of Act 1, they all have their perfect life. Oh, and there's a witch who is played by my best friend.
I'll be the witch.
I cast my best friend as the witch, who does an amazing job. But then in the second act, Stephen Sondheim, many people when it first came out said, why did he write the second act? Why didn't it end happily ever after?
Yeah, I'm pretty good with happily ever after.
Yeah.
But that's not the way our life works.
No.
We all think if I get that job, if I get that thing, then my life will be perfect. And we know that that's not the way it works. Trouble still come. And the goal is, how do we get through the trouble? How do we keep going on the journey and noticing, as in Little Red Riding Hood's case, the wolf says, you're missing all the flowers. You're going on the journey and you're missing where you are right now. So Stephen Sondheim said he wrote the first act to show how our decisions are about what we want and that we're not concerned about anybody but us. And then at the end of Act 1, we see, well, if I only concerned about myself, I may be hurting my neighbor. So in our case, Jack goes up and robs the giant because he wants the money. Well, then the giant has a wife who comes down and wreaks havoc on the world. Kind of sounds like our world to me.
It really is.
You're
and
right.
I think one of the exciting things, besides that it's an amazing story, is that it's our first summer where we are purposefully doing a show to engage all of the amazing interns and staff.
And talk about the interns. Who gets to be an
Oh.
intern, and how do you find them, or how do they find you?
You know, and it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
The first summer, it was me and 1 college person and 1 music director and 24 kids. And now I have 20 plus staff and interns, and they find us through word of mouth, through a friend telling a friend I worked with this company. They really trained me to do a lot of amazing things. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so we work with grants and that kind of thing, and I think some of them heard about us that way. We have people coming from a variety of different colleges, multiple students from Wesleyan College, and some alumni from Wesleyan as well. And then we have students from Meredith College, from UNCG, from UNC Wilmington, UNC, and they...
East Carolina?
Oh yeah, in East Carolina, several from East Carolina. So some of them study theater, some of them study music, some of them study education. And they want to learn, how do you work in the arts with children and young people and allow them to find all their gifts? The people who will be in Into the Woods, most of the actors will be our interns. I'm also in it, so I cannot direct it, so Melissa gets to direct that one. It's very hard to direct yourself in a show. And we have a few community members also coming on board. And then a few of our high school students who have been with us for a while had the opportunity to audition, and they weren't able to know ahead of time if they were going to be in it or not. Now in our camps, once you're in the camp, you're in the show.
Automatically.
Automatically.
And I read your philosophy about that too. Everybody, you don't have to have talent per se to be in. You groom them, you work with them, and you teach them.
Well, and I think it's more that everybody has some talent somewhere, and they just need an opportunity to bring it out.
Awesome.
And we're not all going to be the same talent. We have great singers, great dancers, great actors, and we have people who hold the team together. So the exciting thing for us this summer is that we get the camps that we've always done with the kids, and those are always amazing. And this summer, we're adding this huge piece on of another full-length musical being produced.
And Into the Woods is a full-length musical, so it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. The camps that she does are usually about an hour to an hour and 15, and they do them in 2 weeks, which is amazing. But our professional group that is going to do Into the Woods is putting together a 2 hour, 40-minute show in 2.5 weeks. So they really have to step up their game. They come in with their lines learned and their lyrics learned, and then we put the show together in 2.5 weeks. So it's going to be a challenge. And during the last week, we will be starting the third camp. So they'll be working with the kids all day and then go into rehearsal at night.
They're young too, right?
They are, except for the Wish. She's my age.
Oh, well, no, young. We're there still.
We also have some, besides Danelle being a professional who's had lots of professional experience, we've also got a couple of others that are bringing some, I kind of look at it as they're setting the bar for the interns to work toward, because they're great in their own college programs. But we want them to grow to a level of professionalism. So you always want a bar to reach toward, and Danelle is one of those. She has an incredible vocal range that they will work toward. But also we have Carly Jones, who just starred as Dorothy in The Wiz at Burning Coal Theater in Raleigh. And she's currently starring in a show at NC State right now. And then we also have a familiar favorite for people, Jim Loudermilk, who has done tons of theater in this area, and I think everyone would consider him one of the favorites.
He is.
He's a consummate professional. Everybody loves working with him, and he is going to be the narrator and is going to bring a new level of magic and bringing the show together. And I think it's great because he'll be here for those actors to see. He's going to improv some through the show, and play with them.
Okay, like our David Woods does. He'll throw out current events and whatnot in a Christmas
and
Carol.
he's going to play with them, and it gives them an opportunity, and as Jim and I said, we'll try things and see if they work. And to let these young people know it's okay to take a risk, to jump out there and try something new, and it's okay if you fail. We'll try something else.
That's life. That's real world.
It is.
We're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to hear about the last one and talk some more. So stay with us, please.
Hi, I'm Richard Koss, Pharmacy Manager at Almonds Drug Store at the Westridge Shopping Center. Here with my wife, daughters, and my business partner, Brad Hilton, and his wife, Katie. We are delighted to be new business owners living in Rocky Mount and are excited about the new services and products we are adding at Almonds Drug Store's 2 locations. With a full-service pharmacy, a large supply of over-the-counter supplements, and a comprehensive line of diabetic supplies, Almonds has you covered. Our pharmacists also specialize in consultations. We want you to pay the lowest prices and get the best service in town, and our staff works hard to help you save money, but we are also big on friendliness and customer care. We will deliver your prescriptions free, have drive-through windows, and guarantee short wait times. and we come out to greet you personally and see how we can answer all of your questions. Because as local business owners, we care about you. As a loyal member of your community for over 70 years, you can count on Almonds Drugs to make the health of you and your family our top priority.
Please call Almonds Drugs today.
443-3138.
How would you like to never pay for another oil change or tire rotation, or tires for that matter? We've got you covered at Davenport Auto Park. With Davenport for Life, you can drive a brand new Honda, Buick, or GMC and never spend another dime on maintenance. With payments starting under $200 a month, what are you waiting for? Another service bill? Save that money for something fun. Head to the auto park and see how easy it can be. Come by and see us or visit our website. Davenport Auto Park, Rocky Mount.
We're learning about Activate and great drama at the Dunn Center with lots of our young talent and interns who flocked our area. So this is just, if you know of anybody with whom you'd like to get involved, I guess Danielle Cawley and Melissa Malcolm, the best place to go is to your website, right?
It is. We are getting our website fully up and operational. It's not technology is not my strong point. Young people, that's my strong point. But we have a Facebook page right now, and we're starting to load that with information about our other ways to get in touch with us. And another way they can do it is to email us. And our email is very simple. It's the name of our company, so it's activate.drama@gmail.com.
Good, and we will put that on the screen
And
too.
our Facebook page is Activate Drama, but we also have a special one for the summer that's Activate Summer Stock 2016. And our interns, when we have our interns here, they're working in so many capacities. It used to be, if you were an intern, you worked as an assistant to Danelle and you were acting or maybe choreography. And it's expanded beyond that. We do have young people that now get their opportunity to get their feet wet, to get their first choreography experience, because she'll turn over things and say, okay, you're going to choreograph this piece. You're going to choreograph this piece. You go work with this actor.
No wonder they like to come and get the experience. I mean, to put that
Right.
on a resume is marvelous.
Well, and there's a safety net so that if it's not working and they can look at me and go, it's not working, and I'm like, let's try this. I'm like, let's take that idea and then let's make it simpler or clarify it for how we explained it to the young people. So it's a chance for them to really try something and not just watch something happen.
And we also offer that opportunity beyond acting and music and choreography now, but we're also allowing them to do scenic art. We have some of our interns who are focusing on scenic art for the show. Hopefully you get to see some beautiful pictures of the Willy Wonka example. We have people who are working in technical building sets. We have people learning lighting. We have people learning stage management and publicity.
Costumes too.
Costumes, sorry. Forgot
okay.
the costumes. Costumes are her area. But
Are these for Willy Wonka? Or are these?
They are.
Aren't they
These
cute?
insane costumes are the Oompa Loompas. So you're all, this isn't really a sneak preview because this will air afterwards, but the Oompa Loompas are dressed in, like you can see, kind of patchwork crazy.
Oh, beautiful,
So-
bright colors.
And these
yeah.
were all made for this show in
And,
the last
and
2
the
weeks.
costumes have to be made within that 2-week window for each show.
Who makes them?
We do. So
Wow.
I teach people to sew, and we take volunteers for sure. But my best costume shop person right now is a college student who isn't even going into theater. She just loves to organize things, and she learned sewing and from our program. She used to be a star on our stage, and she runs the whole shop. We bring in other folks. I've taught many of the parents how to sew, guys and gals, and they come in, they volunteer, they help, and we just make it all happen.
And we have beautiful sets. I mean, the sets, and we have an amazing scenic artist in Shelley Curran, who teaches art at Faith Christian School, and she has beautiful eye and can teach people like me to paint something, which is amazing. She makes it like paint by numbers for us. But we also this year have the advantage of a professional scenic designer who is coming in, and he's designed the sets and he's designing the lights for the show. So it kind of steps up the level for our interns. It's not just our imagination anymore, but he's designing things that are bigger and more complex and new ways to do things, especially for Into the Woods and James and the Giant Peach, because you have a giant peach to deal with. So he's lifting things up to a different level of, oh, I'm not just building what I know, I have to take somebody else's design and make it happen. And that's a great experience for these young people to figure out how to make that work.
Well, and I'm excited for the community because what you're hearing is this is just amazingly pulled together by lots of volunteer time, lots of talent, and you're mentoring local people, you're growing our talent, you're making this happen right here in Rocky Mount.
Well, this is where we are, and we both believe that where God places you, that's where you help things to grow. That's where you grow and you help other things to grow. And we have people who grew up in Rocky Mount, who went to school other places, and I love when they come back in the summer so that they can contribute back to their community. And my real dream is, what if Rocky Mount wasn't the place that you grew up and you left? But what if it's the place that you were lucky to grow up and you stay? Because there's that much going on for these young people. And we've got people who grew up here, went to school other places. We also have people who grew up other places and went to Wesleyan, and they come back in the summer. One of my girls is from Florida, so she comes back for the summer to make sure she can get these experiences too on her resume.
And we are giving these young people a stipend, but it is a stipend. But I will tell you, as a board member of Activate Drama, we are taking a leap of faith this summer, financial leap of faith, of doing this third show because the interns are being paid for their work.
So people need to come and watch it, and that'll help offset
Yes.
It will,
if
but
they
we
would-
also need sponsors. We
Okay.
need people to sponsor the arts. I mean, our tuition pays less than 30% of our costs. We have people who are buying ads in our playbill. We have people who are sponsoring scholarships. We have kids out here who couldn't be here except that we have people who donate for scholarships. You could donate for a scholarship for a tuition. You could donate to scholarship an intern for a week, an intern for the summer. You could sponsor a show. We could still use a sponsor for Into the Woods or James and the Giant Peach.
That'd be nice.
So, you know, we would love, we want this to be the communities. We put it here because it belongs to the community. But that also means that the community has to support it.
And really, if you're like, that's all overwhelming, that's so many different choices, I would love for them to be in the audience, just to see it, just to watch what's
It's
happening.
very reasonable,
It
the
is,
tickets are.
and there are over 1,000 seats at the Dunn Center, and when you only have, we usually sell between 400 and 600 per night, and, which is really great for a group in this community that isn't always about the arts. But if we sold 1,000 tickets for every show, can you imagine what message that would send out? And it would help to cover the cost.
And the audience helps the players, the actors do better, don't they?
It really does, because the show's never complete until you've got your audience to share the story with. Because if you're telling the story just to yourselves, that's not what theater's meant to do. It's always about sharing that story with the audience, and that's what makes live theater so engaging. I love movies too, but live theater, if you've ever been on stage or in the audience, it's a whole different thing. You have a relationship right there in the moment, and it'll never happen exactly that way again. It's
And
magic.
now I want you to tell us about the last one, too.
Oh, yes, James and the Giant Peach Jr. That will be for our 6th through 12th graders. We have 30 slots for that camp because it's a smaller camp.
So it's not filled yet.
It's not quite filled yet. We have 20. Somebody just handed me 2 registrations today, so I didn't do a final tally, but I think I'm at 24, maybe 23 for that show. So we just have a very few slots left for that show. And people can do that same email that we said earlier, activate.drama@gmail.com, in order to be able to find out more information about that. But that will, so Into the Woods is July 15th and 16th. The very following weekend is James and the Giant Peach, the 22nd and
Wow.
the 23rd. So
How are you working out the rehearsals?
carefully. We've been rehearsing for just Willy Wonka for these 2 weeks because it is 53 plus kids, and so that's a lot. Starting next week, the interns won't have any K-12 learners that they're responsible for. We will turn over directing to Melissa, and we will all be in full-time rehearsal up to 9 hours a day for Into the Woods.
Wow.
And then when Into the Woods is finishing its final week, which we call Tech Week, which means we're adding costumes, sound, lights, props, makeup, all of it, we will during the day be at James and the Giant Peach with as much energy as we had for Willy Wonka, and in the evening we'll be teching the show. Now I'm going to try to give the interns a little break at some point in the day, but we'll see how I do. It might be a good week for some caffeine for me.
And then the next week, James and the Giant Peach goes up. So we would love for people to come see the quality. I work in a lot of different places. And the
Raleigh Little
quality-
Theater, among others.
I
Yeah.
did. I ran the education program for Raleigh Little Theater. I worked professionally in theater for years, and I will tell you that the quality here will blow people away. The kids are cute, of course. There's always moments of cuteness,
Right.
but they are also doing excellent work.
And here's my hope. My big hope is that we are no longer the best kept secret in Rocky Mount.
Right.
Because once people come to a show, they're like, why didn't I know about this? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I guess I'm not good at publicity. I just want to make the young people into stars and bring their gifts out. So my goal this summer is that we are no longer the best kept secret, that everybody knows what we're doing, and they can all come and be a part of it.
And if people want to be a part of what you're doing, you teach at Faith Christian.
I do.
And homeschoolers can be involved in some of this during the school year
They
too?
absolutely can. All of our shows are open to our FCS students and homeschoolers, and occasionally, such as this coming up spring, we will co-produce something with Wesleyan College, and then that'll be open to the community. And we're doing full-length Fiddler on the Roof next spring.
Great, gosh. So people need to call the Dunn Center. Is that how we can get tickets?
The best way for these plays for the summer,
Right.
the Dunn Center isn't using their box office,
Okay.
but our box office is open here on site from 8 to 10 a.m.
Uh-huh.
and from 4 to 6 p.m. and on the days of the performances.
Okay.
So they can stop by, or they can let us know at activate.drama@gmail.com. Hey, hold me 4 tickets. My name is so-and-so. We'll have them at the door for you. You can pay when you get here.
And most of them start, what, about 7 o'clock?
7 every single show this summer. Keep it simple.
Friday and Saturday nights.
Friday and Saturdays.
And we would love to have everybody here. Into the Woods is a long show for young children. So we've
I recommended 10 and older for that show. It has a little bit of sad and scary content. I don't want to ruin the storyline, but it would be more appropriate for 10 years old and up. And the other 2 shows are most appropriate for 6 years old and up.
And so looking for camps for next year, anybody, you don't have to be a member, you don't have to go to Faith Christian or anything
Anybody.
for Camp of the Future. Okay.
Absolutely.
Danielle, Melissa, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing for Rocky Mountain, for our kids here. But I agree with you, this doesn't need be the best kept secret in
Thank
Rocky
you.
Mount. So we will put all of the information on the screen, and hopefully you'll be getting some calls from it. So,
That's great.
And I'm going to be at Willy Wonka this weekend with my grandson.
Oh, you'll love it. Thank you.
I'm sure. Thank you, and thank you. See you next week.
How would you like to never pay for another oil change or tire rotation, or tires for that matter? We've got you covered at Davenport Auto Park. With Davenport for Life, you can drive a brand new Honda, Buick, or GMC and never spend another dime on maintenance. With payments starting under $200 a month, what are you waiting for? Another service bill? Save that money for something fun. Head to the auto park and see how easy it can be. Come by and see us or visit our website. Davenport Auto Park, Rocky Mount.